Okay, 8th graders, we're talking about function notation today. And can you use function notation to represent a function is our essential question. So first we have to determine what function notation is. And function notation is just f of x equals mx plus b. This just is interchangeable with y, so it's not really anything new or different, except we call it function notation and we write it as a function of x is mx plus b. So to evaluate f of x equals negative 4x plus 7 when x equals 2, all we do is fill in the 2 for x value. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. We do the same thing for here. We can do negative 4, 0, and 3. So actually when we fill it in, we should say f of negative 4 is negative 4 times negative 4 plus 7. Function of 0 is negative 4 times 0 plus 7, and f of 3 is negative 4 times 3 plus 7. So here we get 16 plus 7 is 23, f of 0 is 7, and f of 3 is negative 12 plus 7 is negative 5. So when we write this, we should really say f of negative 4 is 23, f of 0 is 7, and f of 3 is negative 5. For h of x equals 2/3 x minus 5, find the value of x for which h of x equals 7. So now we fill in the negative 7 for our answer, add 5 on both sides. I get negative 2 equals 2/3 x. Negative 2 divided by 2/3 would be negative 2 times 3 over 2. So those both become 1s if I cross cancel, and I get negative 3. And find the value of x so that the function has the given value. This is just 2 more of the same. So I fill in 21. I get 6x plus 9. Subtract 9 from both sides, I get 12 equals 6x. So x equals 2. And here I fill in negative 1 equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides, negative 4 equals negative 1/2 x. Divide by negative 1/2, I get x equals 8. When we're graphing, our first step is to make a table. And this is just suggested. I know that you can do this by saying 5 up to over 1, and that's fine with me. You can beat the system and not create a table because you already know that this is an easier way. And then you plot the ordered pairs after you make your table. And draw a line through the points. So let's just go over how to make a table really quickly. To make a table, I would choose some x and y values. And if we chose 0 for x, 0 plus 5 is 5, 1, 2 plus 5 is 7, -1, -2 plus 5 is 3. That would be good enough. Alright, we have to graph each linear function. I would suggest using slope-intercept, so start at -2, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Here's my line. Here I start at 4, I'm going down 1, right 1. And then here I'm starting at -1, down 3 over 4. Here we're being asked to compare this graph to this graph. So if I graph this one, this is the line x minus 3. And then this one, y equals x, that goes through 0, 0, up 1 over 1. So these two graphs appear to be, they're parallel, they have the same slope. But the -3 moved the line down on the y-axis. So this one's just moved down. Otherwise it would be the same. Okay, the graph shows the number of y of miles a helicopter is from its destination. After X hours on its first flight. On its second flight, the helicopter travels at the same speed but 50 miles farther. Which statement is true about the graph of the function that represents the second flight compared to the graph of the function that represents the first flight? So if they're traveling the same speed, the slope is going to be the same. They would both be going 100 miles an hour. And on this second flight, they went 50 miles farther. So if they're going to go 50 miles farther, the graph is going to move 50 units up because they're starting at 350 and going at the same rate. So the graph is a translation 50 units up. D is the correct answer. Here at the end you have 3 problems to try on your own. You need to graph each of these 2 functions and tell how they compare to the graph of f of x equals -2. And then what if the helicopter goes 50 miles per hour faster? Then what would happen? Instead of changing the distance, figure out what would happen if we changed the helicopter's speed. Have a great night.